Is that our new hello to the chat room
Yeah,
song?
that's my new greeting. Hello. What'd you think of it?
People of the chat room,
Hello.
hello.
Yeah, that's my new
People
greeting.
of the chat room, hello.
What'd you think of it?
You're joining us on Friday. We're gonna do a show.
Hello.
Hopefully
Yeah,
we'll
that's
get
my
started
new
and we're not
greeting.
going slow. People of the chat room, hello.
Hello.
People of the chat room, hello.
Hello. I did just discover something else. I thought I was doing a cool, like, slowly quieting the music as we get louder over the top of it.
Okay.
Apparently, the way I have it set up doesn't work that way. So it just stayed full volume the entire time. So this is probably the point where they can finally hear us, because all the levels were about equal there for a while.
Wait, so you mean I just sang a stupid song and they couldn't even hear it?
Yeah. It was a good song, actually. I feel like it actually makes me a little mad that you have the ability to do off the cuff cool intro song like that, and you insist on starting the show the same way every week.
I'm not gonna sing a brand new song every single week.
But you should.
No, I shouldn't. Besides, I'm definitely not a can sing off the cuff kind of person. In fact, it took a really, really like hard, strong effort for me to get a good rhyme in there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you did a
lot
good
of
job.
filler.
You did a good job. That's all I'm
Okay.
saying.
Well, thank you. I appreciate
Congratulations, you did a good job.
it. Okay. I'll try to ad lib a different intro this week.
Thank you. We all want it. We all want it.
Okay. Well, if you say so.
It's just what we all want. It's fine. I'm going to put a Team Dignitas thing in the chat.
Oh.
Because, I don't know, I'm goofing around on Twitch right now.
Okay, well, you do that. I'm going to tweet that we're actually live.
I just want everybody to know I'm supporting Team Dignitas right now. While Ben's tweeting. That's the way the show goes.
Yes, I did like your tweet.
Cloud9 or die. There is no Cloud9. So I guess we all die? Like, Cloud9's gone, so we're dead?
That's kind of... Okay, well, if we're dead, then that means that we're in the afterlife, and
I shouldn't be tired anymore.
No.
If you can get tired in the afterlife, then something's gone wrong.
Yeah. That's pretty much what goes on. It's like, I'm still tired. Ah, crap. This is an awkward note to come in on.
That's basically our show.
Yeah.
I
guess you're new.
That's the entire show.
Welcome, Death Cactus.
You could leave for 5 minutes, come back, and it would still be a very awkward note to come in on. But welcome regardless.
Yeah.
We're happy to have you.
Well, hey, do you want to do an actual show now?
Lagging Balls sent you here?
Oh,
that's nice of them.
Yeah.
We like them. But
unless they sent you here to, like, you know, chat room bomb us or something.
I also feel like they owe you an apology.
Yeah, pretty much. It's like, hey, you guys should go watch Azeroth Roundtable, because, you know, we feel sorry for them.
And then they watch you go off and they laugh. It's like back in the days of garrisons, when you'd send all your followers out and you'd watch them all march away. It's like that, except meanwhile, Thist and Thorn are just cracking up laughing. We sent him to Azeroth Roundtable. We're not even on this episode.
No, what it is, it's more like when you're getting ready to start a battleground and someone's like, hey, how do I switch my camera to something? And you say, oh, you just do Alt F4. That's what it is.
Have you ever fallen for that?
The first time I ever saw it, I did. And then from that point on, I never fell for it again.
I'm ashamed to say that that's how I learned that Alt F4 closes active programs, as I learned the hard way.
Yeah, for me, it was like way back when, I think it was an EverQuest.
Yeah, it was EverQuest that they got me on as well. I'm
Yeah.
here because I'm a glutton for punishment. Us too.
Yeah. Well, you came to the right place because we're sorry.
I'd have been here whether they sent me or not, but they did say come here. Oh, the G quit command. That's rough. It's especially rough in WoW now where you've got to, and not that it's a long grind, but you got to level with your guild. Which, by the way, I found out that all but 2 of my characters have been kicked out of AIE again, and I'm like, gosh, freaking dang it.
Well, it's a good thing you know someone who's an officer who can invite you in really fast.
I just feel like at this point I know enough officers that I should have some sort of life insurance on these characters.
Are you kidding? Officers get kicked. So yeah, trust me, it's not nothing to do with you. Although I will say that if I do see one of your tunes and I know it's yours, I'll be pretty joyous.
Oh,
No,
man.
no, I'm kidding. No, just do what I do and just go through all your characters once a month and just log in and then you're good.
I'm surprised it wasn't all of them. But yeah.
Well, to be fair, I think it's a 6 month. Like, if you haven't logged in 6 months on that tune, we kick you. So, hey, John, there's a reason why they are all kicked.
Look, I have a main.
I do too. In fact, a lot of people do, which is one of the reasons why, every now and then we get, hey, this is my alt. It got kicked. Can I come back in? It's like we're at a point in the content where I can play it now. So yeah, it happens.
But anyway, well, now we're actually kind of talking about WoW, so maybe we should do it live.
Yeah, let's jump into an actual show. Hold on a second here. Let me stop my pre-show shenanigan recording and then start on an actual one.
Plays WoW. Ladies and gentlemen, this week I played more WoW than the other host of the show.
Hey, no spoilers. Come on, dude.
Spoilers make it more exciting. Now people are like, oh, holy shit. I'm going to listen to this episode.
I'm totally keeping that in the show somewhere. I think if I start off with that, just, oh, holy shit, I'm listening to this episode. It's great. But in the meantime, welcome to Azeroth Roundtable, episode 231. That's right, folks. It is time for the show that sits at a table in the World of Warcraft. I'm Ben Bumhofer, and with me, as always, is John Jagger. How's it going, John?
Hello, Ben. It's Friday night here in Azeroth, and we are taking a seat at the round table. It's just you and me in an intimate, quiet affair.
Ooh.
Like, we're going to sit here and talk about WoW, and all the other people around the round table are going to be like, what's the deal with them? And they're going to be whispers, and it's going to be occasionally awkward, but we're going to have a good time.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely going to be French frying when I should be French frying and pizzaing when I'm pizzaing. It's going to be a good time.
Okay.
That's just what I'm saying.
It's a fine skiing reference for the dinner analogy, but okay.
Well, no, I was going with South Park with the whole, like, if you French fry when you're supposed to pizza, you're not going to have a good time.
No, I know. I gotcha.
Yeah. Okay.
I kind of followed the logic, but I'm maybe a little
really confused, and I know you know that.
I'm still a little confused. I'm more mad that I understood it than anything, really, when you get right down to it.
You usually get mad when you understand my references.
Yeah. It means something's gone horribly wrong.
Yeah.
But hi, Ben.
Hey, John.
First
I was going to say, full disclosure, and it seems to be a running theme that is going to end after next week, but I've been really busy with work, John, so I haven't been playing a whole lot of WoW this week.
Well, that's too bad, Ben. Maybe we won't be able to do a WoW show if you're not able to log in. Oh, wait a minute. I've been playing a ton of World of Warcraft.
What?
So we can absolutely talk about some WoW this week. It's fantastic.
Well, to be fair, we talk about WoW even when neither of us are playing WoW, so I
That's
think we're
true.
probably going to be good.
That's true. Man, I'm seeing myself on video, and I really look as tired as I feel. Anyway,
you need a hug.
No, I need a nap is what I need more than anything.
Well, you know what? Let's go ahead and just take an hour or two pause. We'll come back.
Oh, this would be so great. Like, hey, we'll put up... Here, hold on. We'll just switch back to this. We're preparing the round table. Stand by. We'll go take a little hour nap. We'll be right back.
then just take a little screenshot of your character in front of the portal with Z's coming, like animated Z's coming out of their head.
Yep, and then we'll be
Yeah,
back.
yeah,
No,
that should totally work.
we'll do a show. We'll do a show.
Okay,
How
okay.
about that? What if we just did it?
Well, the thing is the sooner we finish the show, the sooner you get to sleep.
That's true. That is the plan.
Good night, everybody.
Chat, I'll still be here. Don't say that. Come on. We already feel bad enough that you're putting up with this show. We feel even worse if you were putting up with this show with us just sleeping through the whole thing. Might be better, though. Anyway, Ben, I played World of Warcraft this week. A lot of it.
Well, and the thing is you kind of told me that earlier this morning when I said, hey, I've been really busy. And I really want to know, like, what have you been doing? Because, I mean, I would say that at this point in the expansion, without any new content coming right away, there is new content coming right away, but that's beside the point. But generally, at this time, you're kind of like maybe working on an alt, or just kind of like flying around. Well, I guess flying around Dalaran
in a circle.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, like, don't get me wrong. I know you love the game and I know you played it a bunch, but sometimes, later in the expansion, you like to do rings.
Yep, just fly rings around whatever the major city is at the time.
Yeah.
My $15 a month fee goes to flying in a circle. The
Well,
freedom to fly in a circle.
You
But
don't
hey,
get a hippogriff in real life, so
at least I earned flying. And yes, actually, it's funny. Chat's hitting that as well. Yes, I earned flying. I earned it like way, way back when flying was still fairly new.
Hmm?
But hey, you're right. I was playing an alt. So
Oh.
I decided to really just dive in and focus on one of my alts and get them leveled up. And Brega, my warrior.
Oh, okay.
Who's really awesome. And it was, it was good because it had been long enough that the leveling process, I hadn't just done it. So it was like, oh yeah, I'm going to do this quest. And oh, this will be fun. And oh, those Tauren died a horrible death. That sucks. And, went through the whole thing. And man, I will tell you what the best thing in the world is, though, is that when you hit max level and you do the instant artifact knowledge upgrade,
Yes.
and you use your first artifact item after, and it's just like, all right, go unlock all your traits. Just go do it.
Isn't it fantastic?
It is the most satisfying feeling in the entire world. It felt so good. And actually, honestly, it's a big reason why I ended up sticking with the character because, it's hard to kind of jump in at, I think I was like 102 or something like that.
Okay.
And feel like, oh, I know what I'm doing. And I remember when I stopped playing my warrior, one of the big things that got me to stop playing the warrior was that I didn't feel like I had a lot of self-sustain. Like, I felt like I was spending a lot of time between fights, like bandaging and stuff like that. And I was like, man, this just doesn't feel like it did when I was getting her to level 100. Because it just felt like I was rushing from enemy to enemy and just slaughtering them and then moving on to the next. And I felt like this berserker warrior that you want to feel like.
Well, it's funny that you mentioned that because before, I kind of stopped playing for a week or two, I was working on my warrior a whole bunch and got her to 110. And I was doing the same exact thing. And I was forgetting that I actually did need to stop and needed help between things. And I was rushing like to everything. What zone did you work on to actually level?
I did most of them. The only one that I hadn't done any of by the time it was done was Azuna.
Okay.
So I just kind of main storied the zones. I left a lot of the side stuff off the table. I had already done most of, if not all of Stormheim, and just went through and kind of did the main story and most of the others. And by the time I got to Azuna, I did a couple quests there and I was 110.
Yeah, we went very different ways about this. I have the heirloom gear, so I got the XP bonus.
Yeah.
But on top of that, whenever I could, like if the Darkmoon Fair was there or whatever, I would get the the buff and then run an invasion. Every invasion was at least a level. So
I did do an invasion.
Okay. But yeah, I got through like I think maybe half or 3/4 of Stormheim, and I haven't touched any other zone.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to get it done because there's so many quests that are like, hey, you should get the whatever, the pillar thing. And you
Mhm.
have to complete the story up to a certain point to do that anyway, so I thought, well, I'll just go through these mainline stories and make sure I have those. And I'll do the dungeons, and that'll get me some good experience and some decent gear and all of that. I was not using heirlooms, so
Yeah, that makes a big difference.
um, it was a little slower, but it actually still felt like it was at a pretty good pace. I think the big thing was either by unlocking the right traits at a certain point with my weapon or just getting better and more used to playing the warrior, I hit that rhythm again where I was just going
Mhm.
from thing to thing and I was just clearing out areas and feeling strong and powerful. And I felt really, really good about it again. And
Yeah.
I think that pushed me through because let me tell you, once I hit max level again and maxed out my heirloom and did all that stuff, it is one of my favorite characters to play, like hands down. Like I love my rogue. My rogue's great. It's definitely still my main, but there's just something so satisfying about the Fury Warrior. Just
Mhm.
you kill something and then oh, there's another thing and you just rush to it and you
Just
do the full
oh, it's
body check into it. I leave a trail of
yeah.
fire when I do the
Yep, me
rush.
too.
And it's just so satisfying. It's so visceral. Um, but
Okay,
I
so
am
hold on. If you like that, you need to start, just go and farm an old raid or something because if you want to feel like true power, like I'm the best warrior and killing machine in the entire like freaking land, go to ICC or go to the Deathwing one, which I can't think of off the top of my head.
yeah.
Like, just go do some old stuff, and you will feel like the coolest character there is. Like you're charging, and then you charge to another thing, and then you can't charge anymore. So guess what? You heroic leap over there, and it's just freaking awesome. It's so much fun.
Yeah. Oh, it's so good. I really like my warrior. I as soon as I got to 110, I was like, okay, on to the next character was the initial thought,
Hmm.
but I had so much fun on the warrior that I ended up sticking with it. And I've run a bunch of dungeons and I've continued to get a lot of artifact power. I completed my garrison quests or not
Very cool.
garrison, class hall, order hall.
Did you get
Um,
the mount yet?
No, because I haven't done the island ones. I'm working
Okay.
on those. I don't remember which one I'm on right now, but I remember I got it and I was like, oh, this is gonna take a while. Oh, it's the collect 5 billion things for Khadgar and then he gives you them all back. I don't
Oh,
remember how
okay.
to earn those.
You do world quests. You get them.
Just their rewards as world quests,
Yeah.
basically. Okay.
If you're like farming Centenex stuff, they come from that.
That's right. Oh, I'm gonna
Yeah.
have to do the Centnex stuff, but I bet that's way more fun on the warrior than it was on the rogue. So
As long as you've got someone who can pull the portals, because the thing is if you don't have that, it's kind of annoying because you either have to find a group with people who are there who will let you go with you, or you have to steal mobs from people who do have the portals.
yeah, I'm good with stealing. My main's a rogue. It's
Yeah, I
fine.
figured.
So I'm now also considering, okay, well, what is the next character that I'm gonna level up? And the things that are the primaries in the running is my paladin. I really have always kind of liked my paladin. My paladin has kind of always been. I never think about the character, which is weird, but it's
Yeah.
always been like that side leveling character for me that kind of for some reason always ends up being max level over the course of the expansion, even though I'm never really thinking about the paladin that much. So the paladin is a strong contender. The demon hunter, which continues to feel like a class that would just be right up my alley. But
Yeah.
the hardest thing with that is I can't decide if I want to go tanking or damage. And I'm not kidding, Ben, this will not surprise you to
Hmm.
learn. I have made and played through the introductory quest for demon hunters 4 times so far.
Yeah, I'm not surprised at all, actually.
And
Like
then
at
I
all.
and then I delete them and then I do it again.
Well, are you at least like going tank in one and then DPS in another, and then kind of figuring out which way you want to go?
Yeah. I like
And
the so I think I like the tank better. I think their weapon looks cooler. You kind of turn into Diablo, and that's super cool.
mhm.
But the other thought is, well, then I'm going to have to do dungeons and I have to be the tank. and I kind of like my
Yeah.
responsibility-free life that I've been living up to this point.
Okay, that kind of makes sense.
I like letting other people set the pace. I'm not a
Even if
leader
it's
when it
like,
comes to dungeons. I like to have Netflix on and just kind of coast.
so even if they're like a go-go tank, you'd prefer that they still, pull super fast and you just kind of follow along because you finish stuff faster? Or?
Yeah, whether it's the tank going completely ham or even the tank taking their time, I'm good with that as long as somebody else is setting the pace. When I'm setting the pace, I feel like I'm always doing it wrong. I feel like the group is either tapping their foot, being like, "Come on," or plus I haven't done the dungeons enough to know all the shortcuts. So one
Yeah,
thing I learned on the Warrior was I was watching people take really dumb, weird paths that I kept getting stuck on to avoid trash mobs, and I don't know those. And if people are relying on me to lead them down those, that's not going to happen. We're going to go the full path.
very
And
true.
I'm sure that's going to make people upset. So what I might do is I might go tank for while I'm leveling and playing and all
Hmm.
of that, and maybe just switch to vengeance but keep my gear set on tank and just
Well, I mean, they're both
get carried.
agility, so yeah,
Yeah.
you'd be fine.
So that's what I'm thinking
Okay.
of doing. But
Well,
the other thought is this, Ben, and you're gonna like this one.
okay. Is it a mage?
Next week we're getting new casting animations,
Yes, we are.
and I hear they're really good.
From what I've seen, they're really good.
I might need to play a caster of some sort.
Well, you don't want to be a warlock because, well, it's a warlock. I don't think you're gonna go shadow with the priest. I don't think you'd enjoy that.
No, my priest is discipline.
Yeah. Okay. I'm always gonna suggest a mage because mages are great, and I've seen the animations and they're freaking just amazing. But I know that in the past you usually make a mage and play for a really long time and then delete it, and then make another one and then play it for a long time and then delete it, and then make another one, play for a long time and delete it.
Mm-hmm.
But what about elemental shaman maybe?
That could be. My shaman right now is an alliance panda, and I don't particularly care about her that
Mm-hmm.
much. She exists solely to get a moose. Mission accomplished.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
So, um, I don't know. I like, yeah, but the Doomhammer, Ben.
Yeah, I know. That's why my shaman is elemental, which I got a story to tell in a little
You
bit
mean
here.
enhancement?
That's what I meant. Yeah, enhancement. That's how much I've played my shaman since
Mm-hmm.
I got her up to
You got it
100.
down.
Yeah.
Uh, I don't know. Shaman's tempting, but I mean, I could play my discipline priest. They got new animations, right? Like,
Yeah, I
I
think
did
so.
like my discipline priest. Like, that was cool. I do have a warlock that's good to go.
Nah, you don't want to do that.
You're-
Well, let me tell you this. Okay, so forget about the animations for a second.
okay.
I have leveled my paladin all the way up to 110, and I've gone through the order hall. I've actually gotten the mount and everything like that. It's an okay story. Like it's kind of cool. You're messenger of the light and stuff. One of your followers is fantastic. Like you get him at the very end, but like what he is just really cool to the point where I'm like, oh, that's neat. I wish they were my bodyguard all the time. But I don't think he can be. Or if he is, he's like one of those that, oh hi, I'm popping up for a second. See you later.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But I mean the order hall is really cool, but I'm not so sure that the story is really going to be what you're looking for. Like it's cool, but
Yeah, but
I
I
don't know.
like
It,
the
it could be better.
paladin. The paladin feels cool. For one, I've got Ashbringer,
Hmm.
and I know we've all got Ashbringer, but
Yeah,
it's
but it
still
doesn't matter,
super
dude.
cool looking, and my character's a Tauren, and I just stand real tall, and I just feel like this big unstoppable force, and it feels great, and I
Well,
really really like it.
I'll tell you, running around because my paladin is also Tauren, a lady Tauren, but um, it's cool. Like if you like the feel of the warrior, I think just transition over to the paladin right now would actually work out kind of well, because you still have like the I've got a giant weapon and I'm going through and smacking things and everything. And I love the kit for Ret Pallies for this expansion. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, and I
Like
had a
I
lot of
really enjoy it.
fun with the time that I had on it. I also really want to play my Death Knight. For one, because I've heard some stuff about the
Oh,
story,
the
and
the
it's
story is
crazy and
great
super
for the
good.
Death Knight.
The problem is I cannot get the hang of Frost Death Knight at this point. I feel like everything is beating the crap out of me.
Hmm.
Um, I feel the exact opposite of my warrior. I feel like, I fought a thing and I'm a master of death. Oh, bandage, 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 bandage. Ouch, 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 ouch.
Yeah, I mean, well,
Um,
you don't have to play as Frost.
but I do, because those are pieces of Frostmourne, Ben.
Well, the thing is they could just be whispering to you in your bag while you're walking around with the blood weapon or something.
And then I have the same problem of being a tank again.
That's true. But again, you can just switch back to Frost anytime you do that. I mean, personally, I'm going to try it as Frost. That's how I'm going to level up, just because it's really cool. And I love the whole idea of like I've got bits of Frostmourne and I'm running around and pokey stabbing things with it and stuff.
Yeah, and it's
But
making
you,
me
you get
sad.
Syndergosa. I mean, you're basically John. You're Arthas from Heroes in WoW
As Frost,
with
right?
as Frost. Yeah.
Okay, so you're making the case for Frost. Chat is
Hmm.
saying I should do Blood and Unholy. Here's the problem. Yeah, but okay, chat room is saying do Unholy. Unholy is a pet class, right? Like it's all about, oh, I
You
got
you get a pet, but the pet's just there to like
I hate
attack
having
stuff.
pets. I hate it.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's just there. You don't actually. It's not like a hunter pet where you actually send it in and command it to do things. It's just there.
Hmm.
I mean, look, when you're undead, you always have a buddy.
I don't
And
like the buddy.
I mean, but the buddy's got a cool name like Corpse Biter or
Nobody's like,
Rotgut or something.
yeah, look, it's Arthas and his friend Toenail. Like, nobody thinks that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Go Frost, man. Go Frost.
I think Frost is where it's at. Like, I played Blood when they first came out, and then but I kind of wanted to be Frost, and then when they swapped Blood to Frost,
By the way, in case you can't hear her, Sarah's very much saying go for blood.
everybody's saying Blood's good.
Well, that's because you'll live. I'm saying go Frost because you'll have fun.
What I wanted people to say wasn't that, hey, the answer to your dying problem is go Blood. I wanted them to say, here's how you play Frost properly so that it's fun.
Unfortunately, I don't have enough experience to tell you if it's, easy to overcome or not.
I don't... Okay, well, apparently Frost just isn't fun. I don't know. Chat room, look, listeners out there, if you're sitting there and you're a Frost Death Knight and you're like, oh, they are making me rage super bad right now, know that, first of all, I'm on your side. But
I am too.
there was no representation in the chat, so you need to tell me what I'm doing wrong.
Oh, Chief Vulcan just had the best suggestion. The best way to play Frost is to switch to a hunter.
Yeah, I got a hunter as well. I'm definitely going to do survival.
I am okay. So we kind of talked about this before, and I'm totally switching gears here. But after the initial quest to get your order hall as a hunter, I don't want to play my hunter. It's a cult. It's a freaking cult. And I have issues with that. Like, my hunter wouldn't be like, yeah, let's hang out here and worship this animal or whatever. I don't even really remember it all that much, other than it's like, okay, I'm being indoctrinated, and there's like the secret society that I'm in that I don't want to have anything to do with. So, yeah.
This is only
hunter.
tangentially related, but you get his weapon as a survival hunter, and it just reminds me, my favorite thing in all of Legion is when you do the flashback quests when you're playing as what's his name, the Torn dude,
the dude with the H, Huan or something.
yeah, and the narration says he was one of the greatest warriors of all time, and the animation for his basic attack is basically him impersonating Star Wars Kid.
Yes. And just the swinging everywhere.
He's just like, and it's like, yeah, he's very good warrior.
Yeah.
Oh, it makes me laugh every single time I see it. It's the funniest thing. And look, he is killing a lot of demons with the flailing, but it's
Yeah.
just,
So
you hear
obviously it's a
like,
tactic that works.
he's so good. He's the best. And he's just.
That's great.
So anyway, that continues to be one of my favorite quest lines for exactly that reason.
And what about a monk? I mean, you have a monk.
I do have a monk, and here's the weird thing: I have no desire to play my monk.
Okay.
I don't know why.
Maybe because I kind of already told you the story.
No, it's not. It could be a part of it, though, now that I think about it, because, like, I want monks to be something more than they are. Blizzard seems intent to make monks, hey guys, beer.
Yeah.
And, like, I kind of want something cooler out of the class.
Like I'm a master of my own self and my environment, and I'm in tune with the world and stuff like that. Like the wandering monk, like archetype is kind of more what you're looking for.
Yeah, like, I want to be the last airbender. And I know people are going to be like, play a shaman then. But I don't mean, like, literally commanding all the elements, but just, like, I want to be this super cool, like, martial artist and cool mystical stuff and chi energy and all of that. And instead it's like, but beer. And it's like,
Well,
okay.
and see, that's why as I'm going around on my monk, I'm totally in that same aspect of you, or as you, but it's because I'm healing, I feel like it comes through a lot more. I mean, yeah, granted, the story is a lot about brewing a special brew to basically make you just totally destroy and kick butt. But, I found a lot of that serenity and chi mastery and stuff like that because I was healing.
Yeah.
So that's just me.
And I think that's the other thing is, like, I saw the DPS weapons for Windwalkers, and I was like,
Yeah.
that's okay. And then I saw the friggin' staff that you hold behind your back and all of that, and I was like, well, I want to be a brewmaster now, which,
Oh,
in
but you
part
don't
of
want to
being
tank again.
the brewmaster, now I'm back to the tank thing again, and on top of that, I'm like, okay, so now I have to relearn this class from the ground up because I've only ever played Windwalker. And now, on top of that, I'm going to be the most beer-centric character of all of them. So, I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to play my monk anytime soon.
Okay, I've got an idea. What you need to do is start up a stream. You're going to have a new segment, and it's going to be just beer and monkeying around. And it's where you drink a beer and you level your monk. And then that way you can totally embrace it. And then once you're done with that beer, you just log off and you're done. Thinking that's a no.
Anyway, so I'm trying to figure out what the next class I'm going to play is. And, I don't know. They're all... Like, here's the thing about Legion. It has made me excited about almost every single class. Like, even Monk, which I just spent some time being like, meh, I don't know. I'm still, like, I'd love to play it and see it and try it. Like, they got me really excited about all the classes in this game in a way that I haven't been in a really long time.
Yeah.
And the only issue I currently have is that I think I can probably get one more character up to 110 before I need another break from the leveling again.
Yeah, makes sense.
Because
I mean, unless you focus on like invasions and other stuff like that.
But even the invasion, it was like, okay, well, it got me a good chunk of experience, but it was over pretty quick. And then it's like, okay, well, who knows when the next one's going to be.
Yeah.
So I really liked leveling in the pre-expansion event, doing those invasions. That was a blast and a half, and
Yeah.
I understand why it's not that fast now, but I would also say that if I could learn the artifact knowledge level and get those weapons boosted before hitting 110, it would be a lot easier as well.
Well, I've got good news for you, John. Come Tuesday, everyone's artifact knowledge is going to be 41.
Oh, that's right. I forgot they
Mm-hmm.
were doing that. So that is going to be the reality. Okay, so as of
Yeah, so you'll be
Tuesday,
fine.
I will be ready to play all my alts. Well,
Well,
great.
the sad thing is that you won't be able to do that one world quest to get a 20 million thing that'll level everything right away. Like
Well,
that's the downside.
it's fine.
But the good news is that the little like snippy things that you get for the end of like a quest, like the ones that are like, here's 100, they'll at least probably get you a bunch more.
Yeah.
So that's a plus. I'm kind of in the same boat though because I am at the point on my warrior where I am 110, and I want to finish the order hall and get her mount, and then I think I'm gonna do my shaman because I'm like I seem to be going through like all of my heavy hitting melee groups right now apparently because I did my paladin and then did my warrior. So shaman's next. I mean, I've got this big awesome heavy doom hammer to smash things around with, so kind of excited about that. Although I did just change my shaman to a Pandaren female because I tend to really like that model apparently.
Hmm.
Yeah, it was a male orc, and now Stormageddon is a female panda.
I went for diversity with my alts,
Okay.
and I'm now in the same boat where I'm like, screw diversity. I just kind of want to
Hmm.
pick the races that I tend to prefer. But I do like a lot of them. Like
Yeah.
I posted a picture when I hit 110 of my orc on Twitter, and I'm gonna say that, like, yeah, there was a part of me that was like, yay, I got a second 110, but I also knew it wasn't much of an achievement. I'm not gonna lie, the picture was mostly 100% to just be. I said mostly 100%. That was dumb. Uh, it was to be like, hey, check out my orc warrior, the best. And when I
Yeah.
got a couple people to say, oh, that transmog looks so cool, or that character looks so cool, or yeah, that's an awesome looking character, I was like, I know you are all officially in my best friends club because yes, the character looks fan freaking tastic.
That's great,
Um,
John.
it was a
that's
test.
that's how you're all like, this is how I'm gonna prejudge my trial of style outfits.
I actually didn't use that one for Trial of Style, but it should have won. If
Yeah.
I think it's because if I were to use it and not win, I would have been like, everybody on the planet's wrong.
Yeah. Okay, so I do have to say that that's one of the great things about the warriors that they look really cool if you get the right like armor and gear set and everything on them.
Yeah.
Because man, Blade's got some good stuff,
Mm-hmm.
like really good stuff.
Yeah, and I kind of just
Yeah.
want to go and do a whole bunch of transmog things, even though it's a very simple design that I've landed on for how my orc looks. But regardless, I feel very strongly about that character.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like blood elves, orcs, trolls. I like the
So
worgen.
how are the battle animations for orcs? Because I mean, you have the new skeleton and look and everything for it. Because when I've been going through and playing my warrior, her animations are so cool and so neat. And I haven't seen like yeah, Tetsa and Orc Warrior, but I don't tend to like focus on him when we're running stuff because I'm playing whack a mole with the health bars. So like, how does it look? Do you have like the same sense of like just heavy, just hard hitting stuff on there and like variety in all the attacks?
Yeah, so I think my transmog is actually a very important part of this.
Okay,
So the way I have my character designed, people who want to see it can go look it up on my Twitter account. But
I'm doing
uh,
that right now because I haven't seen it.
the way I have my character designed is I don't show shoulder pads. My chest armor looks like leather instead of plate, and it's very small. And then I wear very bulky leggings, boots, and gloves. And I have two very large axes that for some reason these particular two-hand axe models the character holds very high up, like they don't stick out super far, like the model holds them just under the blades, and it looks really awesome, and it makes for
Oh,
a
okay.
character that looks like she's carrying a lot of weight and really hefty.
Hmm.
And so when you charge into battle, you've got one part that looks really agile, but it looks like you're just swinging around a bunch of incredibly heavy stuff. And it just
Gotcha.
feels very visceral. And so I think one part is the transmog, and I think another part is the animation. And it just gives the impression that this is a character that's just going to punch you and have it hurt really badly.
Okay. Yeah, the transmog looks really good. And it's funny because it that looks like, is that the Orgrimmar chest for the
Uh,
Orgrimmar guard?
yeah, I think it is actually.
Okay. Because that's actually what my shaman is wearing. Because I went with very in tune, like with nature, kind of not like druid type, but more of a like grr kind of thing. So like I know doesn't work, but since she used to be a male orc, I totally fit that same sort of look and everything. In fact, I had one of the wolf head helms on. I've switched it since I'm a panda and they look a little weird like that. But oh, and I can't pull up my warrior to show you what she looks like because the WoW site is undergoing maintenance. So never mind.
It's all broken.
Um, yeah, all broken. But I mean, one of the great things about the female Pandaren warrior is that like all the different abilities have just a really good flow to it. Like the animation works to the point where I'm not min maxing my my latency in order to do abilities. I'm watching all the animations go all the way through before I do the next one because it just looks so cool. Like the gosh, I don't even know what anything's called because I just I put it on my hotbar and then do it. But there's this one where she's like swing, 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 kick, and it's just like she's using everything in order to do these attacks. Like the ability that procs when the mob's under like 20%, maybe.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah, I know what
she
you're
she
talking
takes
about.
both the fury blades, just goes wham, just down as hard as she can, like a good 45-degree angle, and I mean, it's so neat the way that the warriors are. And if I remember correctly, probably, gosh, maybe 2 years ago, you and I were crapping on Warriors so much,
Mm-hmm.
saying that they weren't fun at all,
They
and
were boring. Well, they
yeah,
also didn't have
exactly.
unique animations. You had
Mhm.
whatever your race's generic basic animation was. And it wasn't interesting at all. And now casters are getting what melee classes just got.
Mhm.
And it makes me way more excited for the casters. I've always had a big problem with how casters look in this game. I always thought it was really weird. Their weapons kind of teleport from their hands to their backs randomly,
Mhm.
and it makes you wonder why they even have them. And the animations look kind of just canned and sort of lame. And so I'm so excited that they're getting the treatment too. They deserve
Definitely.
it. Even though I don't
Oh,
play that
very
many
much so.
casters, they deserve it.
Well, I think that we can both agree that any sort of visual upgrade to any bit of the game is actually just a plus for everybody. So, yeah, casters are getting better animate. Well, most casters are getting better animations, and that's great, and we're happy for them.
Who
You
got
know,
excluded?
I want to say, was it Warlocks? I think Warlocks got excluded, maybe. I don't know.
Really? How are
Yeah.
the forums not on green fire at the moment?
Oh no, they are.
Oh, okay.
People are upset about it. I don't think that Druids got too much. Like I think the actual casting is not different, but like the spell effects are.
So
Again, don't quote me on this.
is this like a first pass then? Are they talking
I
about
have
doing more, or are they like,
see
no,
that I have
warlocks are
no
fine?
idea. I'm assuming they're probably going to do it at some point, but I'm not entirely sure. He said I think it's Warlocks, but I don't remember because I'm almost positive that Roe was kind of a little bummed out about it in raid the other night.
Well, he is the one to know. Maybe next time I talk to Ro, I'll start the conversation with, "Hey, new casting animations, right?" and just see what his face does.
Yeah, just you're gonna get the Roe look, and you
Yeah.
know exactly which one I'm talking about.
Yeah, and that's how I will know what they're doing.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
so there's one last thing that I kind of want to mention off of that a little bit.
Okay.
Hearthstone, which we only ever talk about when they put out trailers and whatnot, put out an animation,
Yes, they
like
did.
a proper full-on cinematic. And I'm guessing by the yes they did, you saw it, Ben.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah.
First off, let's talk about it. What'd you think of it?
I am all in the world of Hearthstone when it comes to the visual look and how fun everything is. Um, I could go a very dark place on a possible interpretation of the story.
That the girl died in the woods.
Yes. It's like, oh hey, come over here, look at this. Oh, you're dead.
Yep.
Oh, but yeah, in your last moments you're thinking of, hey, let's just go play Hearthstone, and I wish I was in a really warm tavern. And yeah, but let's not focus on that bit, John.
That's dark and morbid. Uh,
Yeah.
I
But no,
liked it too. I thought the
it's
song
great.
wasn't good.
Oh, I love the characters in the short. Like
Yes.
they're exuberant and happy, and they look very Disney-esque, like from like Sword in the Stone, because like the old wizard guy looks almost like Merlin.
Yeah, he does. Uh, I I'm with you on all of it,
Mhm.
except I didn't like the song. I'll just say that.
Well, I did in the fact that it's fun, and I like the idea of it.
I like the idea of the song. I just didn't think it
Yeah,
was good. But
I didn't actually really hear a lot of the lyrics, so I have no
it's
idea
a
how the
lot of
song
like
actually is.
Hearthstone, like it's just that. It's just
Oh, okay.
that if you know that, you know 100% of the song.
Oh,
So
okay. Hearthstone.
yep, those are the lyrics. You did
Oh,
it, nailed
okay.
it. It's
Great.
like a Rage Against the Machine song. There's not a lot to learn. So what I took away from it is that, man, I wish WoW could adopt this art style, Ben.
I know.
So badly. I love the way this thing looks. And what I mean is, I mean, look, we all wish that that's what WoW could look like graphic and fidelity wise.
Yeah.
Like, but we are talking about a very old game. But what I mean is, like, when the Blood Elf shows up, he has a style to him that makes him feel like you just look at him and you don't have to look for big pointy ears. You
Hmm.
immediately know he is a completely different race from everybody else at the table. There's a like kind of snooty, pompous, natural look to him, and he doesn't look like a generic muscular hero man, like where they ultimately landed with male blood elves, where it's just like,
Yep.
oh, I'm a triangle like everything else.
I'm
Like,
a blood elf. Hoo-hoo.
and I know that part of that happened in the design because I know initially blood elves didn't look like that early on and they buffed them up a bit. But like they looked different. It was like that's a blood elf. You could tell right
Mhm.
away, even without having to key in on some of the features that we would key in on in the current game,
Yeah.
versus a human, versus the orc, versus the goblins, versus the gnomes. Like everything in that trailer was so incredibly diverse and just nailed like a look and style that I
Hmm.
really, really wish would come to actual WoW. Like every time I see that trailer, I'm like, sign me up. When can we play Hearthstone the MMO?
Well, okay. So, what would Hearthstone the MMO be? And I'm not just looking for, oh, it'd be like WoW but look different. Like
Well,
what? Like it'd be an entirely different tone and everything too. Like
well,
not just an art style.
the funny thing about this is, I put this in a Slack chat along with Bo and Scott, and we were talking about
Mhm.
it a little bit, and we started talking about like, yeah, well, I mean, it probably wouldn't be in this graphics engine, so it would be like a WoW 2. How would we get to WoW 2? And
Well, your character goes out in the forest when it's cold, and then they die.
my thought was, okay, next expansion is the whole uh Coltiris expansion. And
Okay.
it's the old gods coming to life, and the last of the old gods, I can't remember his name, but it's fine. He's an old god. That's what you need to know. And
Dressage?
yeah, I think that's right.
If
Um,
not, whatever.
and it's got a lot of S's. So we fight them, but in the process, Azeroth, as a living Titan soul entity,
Hmm.
is dying. And in order to preserve itself, an ice age has to basically be activated. And
Okay.
in that time, a great ice age occurs. Civilization retreats into smaller pools where they have to band together because it's going to be a fight for resources and it's a fight for life and all of that. And we fast forward several years into the future and we're finally exiting that age. And we're getting back
Okay.
to, okay, the world's new and there's been this big upheaval and a lot has changed in these years. Um, I think I just said like 7 or 10 or something like that. It'd be probably more. It'd be like 20. It's
Okay.
a little bit more
Be
significant
like
chunk of
20,
time.
30, 50, something
Yeah,
like that.
something like that. And now it's coming back out into the world, and now it's a very different world. And I think we've talked about this before. If I was going to design an MMO nowadays, I would not go the model of every single time there's an expansion, we need a new continent to explore.
Okay.
I would update the world that currently exists. Like,
I'd like that.
one of the coolest things that Hearthstone ever did was the concept of Gadget Zan growing into this giant booming city instead of
Hmm.
just a couple huts out in the desert. And it immediately made me want to go to that Gadget Zan so
Yeah.
bad. I still do. And I think an MMO, and I'm not talking about just Cataclysm where it's like, oh, I went to this zone and it's slightly different. Like, it would be like seasons of a TV show. You get in on the
Hmm.
ground level and you play through the seasons, and the world evolves and the story changes, and you can come in at any time, but you are coming in somewhat in the middle. Like, there's full arcs, but
Yeah.
it would be like, well, we're in the middle of Lich King 2 or whatever. And like, so you can play all of Lich King 2, but if you drop out after that, there could be a couple adventures after that. And when you come back, you would play whatever adventure we're then on.
Hmm.
Um, I would like that over every expansion needs a new continent, because I feel like every time you do new continent type growth, you kind of take away what's special about the world. Like, I don't think Azeroth has mattered much in World of Warcraft in a while.
Yeah.
Probably in a big way since Cataclysm. To some small degree, we cared a little bit during the demon invasions, but because we're always somewhere else. We're always off doing something else. We're some other part of the world, and it's like, okay, well, Pandaria matters. The Broken Isles matter, but not Azeroth matters
Hmm.
because we're off doing other content in other places.
Yeah. And I can see this as something, but the thing is, it would definitely have to be a WoW 2.0, like an actual full new game, so that there's World of Warcraft going on over here, then they're still probably updating or something, because EverQuest went on for forever, while EverQuest 2 was still active,
Yeah, and
because
that
there's going to be people who want to stay in that world, who want to keep experiencing that content, and there's nothing wrong with that. You know, I like running old content. You like running old content, but we kind of stick with most of the raids and dungeons and things like that. Whereas there are people out there who like to go through old quests and run that content and everything again. I'll concede that that's still there. That happens, and people still enjoy that. So that being said, John, I love this idea because I agree with you. There's not a lot that's going on with the world. I mean, the Legion invasions, yeah, we were doing, what, 4 zones
yeah.
total, and things weren't really being changed there. They were just, oh, there's demons everywhere, just kill them.
Yeah. And okay, now we're back.
Yeah, and I mean, I've been able to, in at least as a monk, I've visited little bits here and there of Pandaria, so like there's stuff there, and I enjoy the fact that I've been able to visit that, and it's like, this is great, and things are changing and happening here. But like, I love Pandaria. It's one of my favorite expansions, and like, as time goes forward, I keep like making it almost better than Lich King in my mind. So
Mm-hmm.
it's like, anytime I can go back there and hang out and do stuff, I love it. But are we ever gonna go there again? Probably not.
No, it's
And it's a place that I hold so dear in my heart because I had so much fun there. And
And
just like Northrend is great, but I would love to see that updated and see new stuff that's going on, because there's a new Lich King and he's not sleeping. So, I mean, the idea of, every, let's say every year, every 2 years or something, the world is not wiped out, but updated and changed. It gives their, a chance for growth. It gives there a chance for things that you're doing in the world to actually matter. And that's something that I think is great, and it helps with a storytelling perspective, because the story that's happened matters at that point.
yeah.
Because right now, hey John, Swamp of Sorrows, who cares?
I did back in vanilla when it was exciting.
Yeah, Barons, that's a good example, because they did update Barons for Pandaria for Siege of Orgrimmar content, like right before that came out, and all those mobs are still there, but none of the rest of the stuff for Siege of Orgrimmar is there. So what's the point of that? It's updated, yay, but oh well.
Yeah, it creates weird things, and the way
Mhm.
WoW is built right now, the systems that they use now, the areas that I find problematic, and a couple things I want to make super clear. First of all, EverQuest 2 helped kill EverQuest. Now,
Mhm.
both those games are still technically running, I think, but it was a bad idea. And I'm not by any means suggesting that WoW needs to split its user base to do a sequel. But I like thinking about what a sequel to WoW would be,
Mhm.
because occasionally they show me something super cool, like the way everything looks in the Hearthstone cinematic, and all I can think is, man, I wish I could make that a thing. But the other problem is we hammer on it all the time because it truly is like the most, what are you guys doing with storytelling? And that's the Blood Elf status of the Sunwell. It's
Yep.
back, it's gone, it's back, it's gone, it's back, it's gone. Like, because they don't fully update the world, and because of their adherence to, there's no narrative flow, it's just based on whatever zone you're in at the time,
Mhm.
the status on the Sunwell changes. And
Well,
it,
the opening cinematic for it is they have the Sunwell, and then your first quest is they don't have the Sunwell.
yeah, it's very like jarring if you care about lore. Now there's a lot of people that don't. A lot of people are just like, well, the game
Mhm.
plays good. And yeah, the game does play really good. I would like to live in a world where the game both plays good and tells a story that makes sense. And
Yeah.
it makes a bit of sense to me because I've been here from the beginning, but at the same time, like, I shouldn't have to make narrative weird jumps in my head for it to make sense. The world should grow and the world should evolve. And um, that's what I would like to see. And so I think they could do it. I think there's a way to do it. And I do think they could still add continents from time to time. Like, it could be, hey, we're starting and we're building a world that is entirely Eastern kingdoms right now.
Mhm.
And we're going to find out what happened on the other continents at a later time, but we're going to just be here for a while.
Yeah,
Um,
and even when we go to Kalimdor, things progress in Eastern kingdoms. Like quest lines that you started where, like, say you had to, I don't know, rescue someone or whatever. Well, it turns out that in the next expansion, like, they're starting a family or something.
yeah.
Maybe you had to save like an architect and his plans come back and they start, making improvements on a city or something. Like, it could be just small touches and everything where, some might even see them as Easter eggs if you went and played through the entire quest line. But it's like those small callbacks in world building is something that would be great.
And
And
I thought it was super cool in Legion when we would go back to places, because they would. I mean, like you said, I don't think we'll ever go back to Pandaria, but I thought it was super cool for the start of the monk quest when I went back to Pandaria. I was like, oh
oh
my
yeah.
gosh, I'm back here. This place still matters. And I think that if they approached it more from telling a story like a season of television, like, not worry about gigantic, massive expansions. Maybe there's still a place and a time for that. But, like, we're going to tell a compelling story that we expect is going to take 3 to 4 months of your gaming time in the game. And that's going to be season one. They don't have to focus on every single zone. Not every zone has to be relevant. They can say, okay, well, the the bulk of this story is going to focus in these zones. That's where the things are going on. That's the story that's going down. That's what we're going to tell. And then season 2, maybe it involves some of those same zones and going back and seeing a continuation of what we did there. But now maybe you're going off somewhere else. And here's a place in the world that, yeah, maybe you saw, but now there's a cool story and a compelling story in those zones too.
Well, and I could be very wrong about this, but from all the information that I've gleaned from like the AIE podcast and stuff about Star Trek Online, is that they're doing stuff kind of like this, where, and I'm pretty sure that this is how it works, but I mean, they do have story content like seasons, like TV seasons, because Star Trek, it was a TV show. Who knew? And I believe that all the things that change and matter and happen and stuff is just it's an ongoing, growing, living game like experience. Now, does that mean if I start right now that I can never play any of the previous content? I really have no idea. But if I am starting right now, I want to be able to do what's current, because I mean, that's what WoW's doing by giving boosts with all the expansions. Like, right? They want people to be able to play with their friends, be able to jump into the content. And I mean, just as it is, 100 levels, that's kind of a feat to get through if your entire purpose is to play what's new.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I can see this as something, going forward. And at this point, like, levels wouldn't matter. Story content would be the key. And, that's how you measure your progression of how much you've actually done.
Yeah. And I just, to me, the biggest issue, and I see Sage Time saying, I think we're already in WoW 2 with all the updates they've made. I think they just don't feel that updating old stuff makes sense or makes enough people happy. That's kind of what they discovered with Kata. So for one thing, what we're talking about is like if they were approaching a new game from fresh, like you can't apply this idea to the current game and have it work. I do think you're right, although I think Kata was a brilliant idea. I think the biggest problem with Kata was that takes time and resources, and it took time and resources away from what would be the end game and other parts of the game that people would care about too. I don't think Cataclysm was necessarily a failure because they updated old zones. I actually think the updating the old zones was the best part of Cataclysm.
Yeah, I agree.
just think that it stretched the team too thin to have to add an expansion on top of updating vanilla WoW. Like, that's a big ask for everybody. And I don't think that's what we would be asking for here in the structure of a new game. But I don't know. I mean, to me, it bums me out that no one's ever really in Orgrimmar except as a teleport place, that most of the old world is empty, that they had to invent cross-realm zones just to have people in the same zone as you, because most of the world is so open and forgotten, that there are entire cities that are just completely ignored, entire zones that don't have any meaning to them whatsoever, and never will, because all they ever do is add new content or continents and places to go that we haven't been before, and it makes the old world feel less important.
Something that I wish I kind of, we had somebody can get an answer from is, if you started either in or after Cataclysm, do you feel like you're missing out on that old vanilla content? Like, obviously you can't experience, I'd say, a good 90% of it.
I think I get nostalgic for it. I don't know if I miss it because a lot of it was not good. But I do get nostalgic for it, of like, oh man, I like old Barons more than I like new Barons.
Oh, everybody does.
Far and away.
There's not a big gash in the middle of it.
But the questing and what you're doing in New Barons is 1,000 times better than the questing and what you were doing in Old Barons. So I think that's where it gets tricky, is it's like a lot of these zones, in an effort to make them like, oh, look, we filled 1,000 Needles with water. Well, now 1,000 Needles is obnoxious. Wasn't obnoxious before. Now it's kind of a pain in the butt to get around and do anything there. But I do think that, like, the quest that they're having you do is more fun there. I would have liked to have seen, but again, it's stretching the team too thin, hey, we put some of the fires out. We built a bridge connecting the barrens again. Like, I'd like to see the world evolve, but now we are getting back to what Sage in the chat was talking about, which is now it's a waste of time. Like, they don't get enough out of doing it for it to make sense.
Yeah. And on the opposite side of it, Wicked Kitten said, yes, she feels like she's missing out. Onina definitely feels like it. Like, they started in Warlords and they feel like the world is wrecked and they have no idea what it was like before that, which totally goes into what you were saying about, hey, let's update kind of what happened and fix some of this stuff. You're right. They changed the world entirely once, change it some more and fix it, but then that breaks the quests that are there. So it's like it's this cycle that they have to constantly keep updating. And at this point, you're right. Original WoW, it's too big for that. But
Yeah.
if it was a fresh game, it'd be really cool.
If they were going to do an expansion that was going to take place in a lot of those old zones, they could justify updating them. But
Mm-hmm.
the expectation is still such that, we need a new continent. We need a new island to go to. Again, going back to rumors, it sounds like Kultiris, a new island, is going to be
Mm-hmm.
exactly where we're going.
Well, I think it's because with Kata, like the living experience was so like separate because they put us in, a zone up here and then one on a different continent over here and then underground and then way over here. And I think they're just scared of doing something like that again.
Yeah.
Whereas if they did it, maybe kind of jointly, go back to a continent and have the leveling experience go through, like, say, Searing Gorge, Burning Steps, like that whole area or something. Like, change it up.
Yeah.
And
And
then they have the technology to have the old content in the same place on top of the new content. Go to Burning Steps is the place with the portal, right? No, Blasted
no,
Land. Sorry,
Blasted
Blasted
Land
Land.
says the portal.
I'm fried. Don't mind me. Um, but there's a bronze dragon that you can talk to who she'll switch it back to before Warlords, and you can go through and level and do stuff. Then you can walk right back out, talk to her again, and then she'll switch it back to, hey, this is the pre-Warlord stuff.
Yeah. And I
So,
mean, like, those changes were super impactful for people that
mm-hmm.
were playing at the time
Oh
going
yeah.
into Cataclysm. Like, we spent a ton of time just flying around being like, look what happened to the world. But anybody who's joined the game since then has no frame of reference. Like, you don't
Mm-hmm.
know what the old Barrens look like. You can Google it, but, like, was that, oh, it used to be one big zone where they talked about Chuck Norris all day. Like, that that's just something that you research and you look at and you say, okay, it doesn't have the same impact that it did for
Mhm.
us at the time. But even now, like, now you just look at it and you're like, why is this place still shitty? Like, why,
Yeah.
why couldn't they build a bridge? Why couldn't they do this? Why couldn't they do that?
Yeah. Well, again, Oni Nuth in the chat says, Lock of My Dead looked like it was awesome. Now it sucks. Well, first of all, it would sucky anyway. And actually, this is an improvement on it. But
I don't
it's,
know about that.
well, I don't know. I never questioned through there. But it's more interesting now. I can definitely vouch for that. So,
I
yeah.
like to the point that WoW is like the Weasley's house. They've added so much they can't backtrack to fix the older parts now. That
Yeah.
is spot on, and that's the thing is like there's a part of me that wants to say yes, fix the Barons, but there's another
Mm-hmm.
part of me that's like don't sacrifice anything to fix the Barons.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's not worth it at the end of the day. It's not worth it. And how excited are you actually going to be if they turn around and they're like, the next zone in the new expansion is the Barrens? Like we've we've
That's right. We
updated
didn't
it.
say north. We didn't say south. It's just the
Like
Barrens.
it just ultimately is like, well, okay, I guess. And so I get that it is a tough problem, and I think that's why we were talking so much about it
Mm-hmm.
as a sequel is because I don't think this is something you could apply
Yeah.
to the current World of Warcraft. Like this game is locked in the we're going to a new continent, we're going to a new planet, we're going to a new island, we've
Yeah.
discovered a new meteorite and it hit the ground near here. We're gonna check it out. Oh no, Wampas. Like
I would play that that expansion in a heartbeat.
they're just locked into it, and like that's what we have, and it's good, but that doesn't mean it's not fun to also sometimes think about
Yeah.
what could be.
Well, that's what the show is half the time, is thought experiments.
Yeah.
The other half is us just making fart jokes.
Yeah, because we made a lot of those tonight.
Oh yeah, the entire show. That's what we do.
End to end.
Exactly. But John, thank you very much for joining me on this week at the round table.
Oh, you're welcome. Thanks for having me. It
Yeah,
was nice to be invited to be here.
yeah.
It's an honor.
If you play your cards right, maybe you'll come back next week.
I hope so.
Yeah. Speaking of next week, we're probably going to be recording on Saturday.
Yeah, so keep an eye on our Twitter. If you want to join us live, we'll let you know when and where we will be. Well, where we will be is here.
At the round table.
What day?
Yeah.
We'll figure it out.
Exactly. In the meantime, though, John, where can people find you?
If you want to hear more from me, you can follow me on Twitter at John_Jagger. Or if you say, hey, John's got opinions and I would like to hear his Heroes of the Storm ones, you can check out Core, which is the Heroes of the Storm show I do as part of the Frog Pants Network. You can find out more information about it at heroesforyou.com.
Yes, you can.
Ben.
Yes, John.
I just wanted that agreement before we could move on.
Okay. I wasn't sure.
Ben, where can people find you, my friend?
Best place to find me is actually on Twitter. I am at Ben the Mage. I've been quiet for a while. Give it a couple weeks and I'll be a lot more talkative. Other than that, though, I'm also on a show with Aludra called Battle Pets. It's where we talk about battle pets in the World of Warcraft. I'm really looking forward to new stuff. There's like a zillion new pets coming, and it's pretty awesome.
Multitudes of pets.
Oh yeah, John.
Many.
There's more raid pets being introduced, and I'm excited about that. Not about the raids themselves, but about getting those pets.
Darn right.
Yeah. This show, however, Azeroth Roundtable, you can find us on Twitter. We are at AzerothRT. All of our episodes are found on AzerothRoundtable.com, as well as on iTunes, Stitcher, TuneIn, Alpha Geek Radio, and pretty much everywhere else that other podcasts are found. Whether they're good or bad, I'm not going to make that distinction this time. If you have any questions, comments, want to tell us your experience with leveling up and how you think we're incredibly right or wrong, you can send those emails to AzerothRoundtable@gmail.com. And last but not least, well, that's everything, really.
Oh. Well, it's not quite everything, because before we go, we like to take just a moment to say, hey, thank you to those of you who support us via patreon.com/AzerothRT. We have a new patron we want to thank, Drew H. Thank you for joining our patrons and your support. And as always, we want to send a special shout out to those of you in the Murloc Club. That's Aaron, Simon, and Haster. Thank you for your incredible support of our show. We appreciate it each and every week. If you want to join them, patreon.com/AzerothRT to help support our show.
Yep, to the Murloc Club, we Murloc salute you.
Well done.
Thank you. Also, don't forget our Discord. Go to the website to find the link for that. That's the thing I forgot to say, John.
Oh, okay. Well, we got there.
Yeah, we got there. And with that, this has been Azeroth Roundtable, your weekly World of Warcraft podcast that talks about stuff and things
in the World of Warcraft. Well done.
And that's where the show is going to end. Yeah, that was fun, John.
Hey, that was. I think we did a good job.
Yeah.
For just two of us.
Just the two of us. I did this last time. It was just the two of us, which was 2 weeks ago. Just the two of us. Just the two of us. So, Sarah got me the sci-fi card pack for Cards Against Humanity. And some of these cards are just fantastic. Like for a white card, you can see it, but the chat can't. It's just a picture of Sean Connery from Zardoz.
That's great.
I'm not going to read that one out loud. 3 boobs.
Yep. It's important.
Yep. Hazmat suit full of farts.
It's rough.
Darmok and Jalad at Tanagra.
Great.
Yeah. Can't read those. Yeah. Oh, the ending of Lost. Yeah. There's some really good stuff here. Really
That's good stuff.
Yeah. Like fear leads to anger, anger leads to hate, hate leads to blank.
Ooh. That's where you would play your Sean Connery from Zardoz card.
I also really like this one. It's a good Star Trek reference. You have violated the Prime Directive. You exposed an alien culture to blank before they were ready.
That Zardoz card's good for everything.
It pretty much is.
Because basically, I'm thinking of nothing but Zardoz.
You're not
Is
gonna
there
believe
one
this, but I'm you from the future. You've got to stop blank.
Zardoz?
Yeah.
Is there one that is the penis is evil?
No, there actually isn't, which is surprising.
Okay, you got to get your writing card on that.
Okay, I will. I have plenty of those. I'm gonna show this to you. I'm not gonna read it out loud though.
Aw, that's a mean tease. Because now chat's like, oh, what was it? Had to do
Yeah,
with
well,
Yoda. That's all you need to know.
yeah. So yeah, good stuff. That girl from the Hungry Games.
Yep.
Yeah. A planet
Oh,
devouring space worm named Rachel.
I'm pretty excited, Ben, that we survived this because, man, that was a. I'm so tired.
I am too. God, like when I say I'm fried, like seriously, my brain is fried. And at work, people just keep giving me more and more stuff to do, and I'm just like, you don't understand. I can't do it.
Yeah.
I just can't.
I was supposed to stream tonight,
Well,
and I don't think I'm gonna do it because I think I'm
um,
too tired.
well,
Uh,
how about we do a stream of Lucio Ball?
How are you guys doing on those alternate tunes you were leveling on the Alliance? So I did complete the first zone for the gnomes in preparation for it, and what happened was the episode we were going to do it, I don't remember what the story was, but some big news story came out, and we were like, well, we should talk about that instead. And then there
Yeah.
was something else the next week where we were like, hey, we should talk about that instead. And then we were like, well, it turns out we're talking about WoW a lot now, and we're not hurting for content.
Yeah.
Maybe we will just step away from that a little bit. I
It was a really
actually,
good idea. I'd like to do it at some point.
yeah, I still think it's a fun idea. If I go into my folder, where is it? I gotta find where the screenshots for WoW get saved, which I think moved. Maybe it didn't. Maybe it's exactly where I think it is. Or it's not. Jeez, too many folders. BattleNet. I can't find my World of Warcraft folder.
Oh no.
It's gone. BattleNet.
Yeah,
There it is, World of Warcraft.
I know I've got Lavash still sitting there in her armor.
Yeah,
I picked a warrior to play though, so I'm gonna be excited about that.
if I go to my screenshots folder, I've got like pictures of all the gnome quest text, basically.
Oh wow.
Because I was worried that I was gonna forget what happened. So I took a bunch of pictures of gnome.
You know, I probably should have done
Quest
something like that
text.
because I don't remember it as much anymore.
Oh, I forgot I took that picture. That's an awesome picture.
Oh.
By the way, if you want a really good screenshot opportunity or a cool new desktop background,
Okay.
here's what you do. Go to the mountains. What are they called? The Torn Mountains. On the Isles. What's it called?
Oh, High Mount.
High Mountain. Yes, go to High Mountain at night. Fly up to the tallest mountain area where you get that really cool space skybox, you know?
Oh yeah.
Well, now the Legion homeworld is there in the sky too.
Yeah.
And you can turn off your UI and you can get an entire screen that is just that.
Ooh.
Yeah. It's pretty good.
Okay, that is pretty cool.
So I think I'm going to make that my desktop wallpaper because I'm kind of sick of looking at the one I got.
That works. I have a really cool like painting of Aloy that Sarah found. And she's pulling a bow back and it's cool. Oh, I have got a fun story to tell you about Horizon.
Okay.
So maybe it was last week. I don't remember anymore when things happened. But I had a half hour to play So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna actually play a game tonight. I logged in, I talked to someone to continue a quest, and then I saved at a fireplace, which was cool. And then I'm like, oh, there's a big bird thing over there, and it's like attacking these other things. I can see what I can do about it. And I was like just walking into a new zone, and it was a storm beak, so one of the giant birds, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, cool. So I fire an arrow at it, and it's like, oh, I don't like you now. I'm like, okay, cool. We're gonna fight. This is gonna be neat. I'm gonna see what happens. And so I'm killing. I'm trying to kill it and everything. I'm dodging everywhere, left and right, and you know, totally rolling out of the way with the big lightning things that it's throwing and all this stuff. And I'm like, oh, this is cool. Then it flies up really high, and I lost track of where it was. Then it just landed on me and killed me instantly. And then I'm like, well, that's my half hour. I have to go now. So I was kind of sad about that. But then 2 nights ago, I think I logged in. I'm same spot. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna kill it this time. But this time I'm gonna wait until daylight, and then I'm gonna see actually what's going on in the area around me, so I don't roll into mountains and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I go through and I'm doing this great job. I'm like roping it so that it's stuck to the ground and everything. I'm like, yeah, this is going great. And I'm taking out some of the flight things. I took out the lightning gun thing, and I'm like, yeah, this is awesome. And then all of a sudden, it tries to take off, and then it glitches, so it's like standing on the ground, but it's in the air, and I've got nothing holding it down, and it's just standing there. So I don't have to actually really do anything to it anymore except just shoot it with arrows. So I'm like, I got about down to about half health. I'm gonna call this a win. And then I just took it out. I'm like, yeah. So I had a lot of fun with that.
Well done. You did it.
I'm gonna the armory's up, so I'm gonna link my warrior into the chat really quick so you can see what she looks like.
Cool.
Because yeah, I think she's looking pretty cool, if I do say so myself. And the reason her name is that is because she used to be a troll. But I'm like, I like Pandarin better.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, she looks cool.
Yeah, I mean, granted, she's not wearing the harness or anything, but she still looks pretty sweet.
Well, I mean, the harness is what works for an orc. Doesn't.
Yeah.
Wouldn't look right on a panda.
Well, I'm finding my my shaman right now, so we can make that decision. Because I think she's still wearing it.
All right, man. Well, why don't we call that a show?
Yeah, I think I can do that.
Okay. We're going to do that. You can't stop us.
All right. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and link my shaman really quick.
Because I link your shaman really quick. I would link my rogue, but I think I'm still transmogged out from the last time we did a transmog.
Gotcha.
Oh, yeah. That does look cool for a shaman.
Yeah, and imagine her with a wolf head, too, and then pretend she was a male orc. It looked pretty good.
Now use the theater of the mind's eye.
That's how that works, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I essentially got her in the Orgrimmar gear, and it worked. It looks really good for a shaman, so yeah.
Cool. Well, chat room, you've been wonderful, beautiful people, and we're gonna miss you.
Yeah. A lot. But it's okay, because we'll be back.
Yeah. We will. Maybe.
We always come back.
Yeah, we'll probably be back.
No, we will.
Sure, we might be back. Chat room, we might be back. Have a good night.
Bye, everybody.